Hey guys, so I was reading a thread on Canadian Gun Nuts about getting younger people into shooting sports, and I thought I'd make a quick video about it because I noticed a trend there. There's a lot of guys, older guys, who want to teach their specific brand of shooting and firearms usage to younger people, but they're complaining that younger people are just not interested. They don't pay attention. They've got their noses buried in cell phones. They're constantly on their phones. They're constantly playing video games, and they're just not interested, not around, and they don't want to do it. And they're angry about it. They're mad that these kids don't want to pay attention to the teachers. Well, I think they may need to have an adjustment to their theories here a little bit. So I'm going to use a metaphor here of fishing. Now, I'm not much of a fisherman. My dad he's a really good fly fisherman, really good at it. And I learned a few things from watching him about getting what you want. Now, a good fly fisherman, or a good fisherman in general, will go out to the river, have a really good look at it, pay attention to conditions, like what the weather is doing, the time of day. They'll check to see if the fish are jumping. They'll have a really good look for ripples in the water, where the flows are, where the bends are, where the shade is. They'll be paying attention to whether or not the river is rising or if it's dropping. And then they will select the appropriate tool for the conditions that they're working in. So they may decide, okay, I'm going to grab my certain weight of a fly fishing rod. I'm going to select this type of fly because I think the fish are at the bottom, and they're eating this certain type of prey at the bottom. And I'm going to use a sinker line to bring that lure down there, and I'm going to just get that fly in right behind that ripple because I think the fish might be just kind of sitting there waiting for food to come to them, and then they'll catch their fish. They're really good at it. They'll get their fish. Now, a dumb fisherman will go to the same part of the river every time, even though the river's changed dramatically over the last 10 years. They'll go to the back of their truck and bring out the one fishing rod that they own, and they'll put the one lure that they own on the fishing rod, and then they'll sit in a chair and cast the lure out, and then they won't catch any fish. That's a dumb fisherman. So what I'm saying is that the fish are the young people, and that the conditions of the river and the area of the river is social media and it's video games. It's like that's what the kids are doing. They're into their cell phones. They use social media a lot. They text, they do all that kind of stuff. That's how they communicate. And they're influenced by video games and by movies and that sort of thing. They're also much less rural than they used to be. Canada's changed a lot in the last couple of generations. It used to be mostly rural, self-sufficient rural people that have to deal with that sort of thing, wildlife and hunting and protecting cattle and rabbits, and getting the 22 out and going for a walk and shooting a couple of rabbits is a commonplace thing. It's just not that way anymore. Most kids are living in urban jungles. It's concrete. They're not into that sort of stuff anymore. So you have to kind of go to where the fish are. So that means paying attention to trends like video games and movies. For example, Battlefield 1 is quite popular right now. So that means World War I guns. So you may have to pull out your Model 1917s, your Springfield 1903s, and your Model 1911s, and your C96s, and your Lugers, and that sort of stuff, and then have a video or two, take some video of you shooting it at the range, or maybe at a competition or something like that. Text it to your kids so they can share that with their friends. Post it on Facebook. Red Dead Redemption is really popular right now. So cowboy guns, single action armies, any lever action guns, shotguns, that kind of stuff. That's going to be interesting to them because they've experienced that through their video games. It's something they want to do. They want to check out. It's like, oh, there's a real Colt Peacemaker. Now that'll get him interested. And then you're going to have to apply that lure to the right conditions. So that means your river, well, you're going to have to use social media to do it. Or some other method. If you can't do it yourself, then you must know somebody who can. And then you ask them to post this information on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or whatever. Talk to them. Find out what the terrain is like. We've also got kind of an economic difference here when it comes to generations. Because boomers, which right now are the teachers, there's a lot of them around. So when they were kids, when they were young, it was kind of a seller's market. There was a lot of students and not that many teachers. So if you wanted to learn something, you had to prove yourself. You had to go out there and pester those old white-haired guys and say, I want to learn this, I want to learn this, I will do whatever you want me to do to learn, blah, blah, blah. And they could be picky and choosy. It's like, sorry, kid, you're just not cut out for this. I'm going to go talk to these kids over here. I'm going to teach them. So it's not like that anymore. The roles have reversed. There aren't that many kids around. Just demographically. Millennial kids and, of course, us Gen Xers, there just aren't that many of us around compared to boomers. So now you got a whole bunch of boomers all trying to pass their knowledge down, and they got all kinds of cool things that they do that they want to pass down. You're competing with them, with all the sports stuff, with all the automotive stuff, all the cool stuff that boomers have to teach. Well, you got a lot more competition than you used to. So you got to realize that. You're going to have to work a lot harder if you want to pass down your knowledge to the next generation. And it's your responsibility to do that. I know that sucks, but they're not going to come to you. You're going to have to go out and get them. So, sorry to say, you're going to have to work a little harder. So that's all I got. That's all I got right now, folks, on that subject. I hope you're having a good one. Summertime's coming. So have a good one, and I'll see you out on the range.